Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. And that's a Hezekiah H for Truth. So I wanted to come on here today and talk about what the executive order on crypto will do. That's President Trump's executive order. Let's get into it. So I looked at two articles. I was looking at one, but I couldn't find it. It kind of just got lost on me there. But in you see, the media is dishonest, okay? There's an article here by CBC. So CBC is a Canadian newspaper, okay? And they're funded by the government, right, at 1 billion. So, and this is the title of the article. What are executive orders in the US and how much power do they have? This was written on January 21, 2025. So it's a day after he was inaugurated. They're writing this. And in this article, it says, the summary of the article, let me just tell you, but I'll read a few things. It says, U.S. President Donald Trump returned to the White House ready to immediately overhaul the government using the fastest tool he has, the executive order. Well, that tells you the tool is effective, right? It works. But see what they say. On his first day, he looked to increase domestic energy production and stop diversity, equity, and inclusion programs within the federal government, among other actions. An incoming president signing a flurry of executive orders is standard practice. They allow a president to wield power without action from Congress, but there are also limits to what the powers can achieve. You see, there are also limits, which is true, but let's see now how they play with that, all right? A primer on how the presidential power works, and it's often fleeting impact. They say the impact is fleeting. Look at the words they choose. So go check what fleeting means. It's like, oh, it's just quick and it goes. But you saw the last 4 years, right? So let me cross over to another article. This is by CNN, okay? And this article was written, CNN has, on their website, they write articles and they have staff writers, okay? Or freelance writers who are contracted to come on and write stuff. So this was written on Monday, February 8th, 2021, okay? By Robert McNally. And it's an opinion piece. But, when people are reading it, do they really care whether it's opinion or they just take it for what it is, right? And those opinions are strong. There are people who are supposed to be experts in their fields. So Robert McNally writes this, and this is the title. Watch. It says, Biden's decision to cancel Keystone is one the U.S. will eventually regret. So President Biden canceled Keystone with an executive order. He got in there and says, nope, no more, no more. But he pointed out that he didn't include fracking. So those who already had licenses prior continued, and who had not even started prospecting or drilling for oil, just continued to drilling. That's why the, drilling for oil continued, right? But so let me read. It says, at first glance, President Joe Biden's executive order revoking the 1,200-mile Keystone XL pipeline cross-border permit may seem to be a symbolic bone throw to the environmental community. After all, the once cost celebre pipeline project is much less economically viable now than when it launched 12 years ago and oil was at $100 per barrel. But quashing Keystone XL matters in two underappreciated and important ways. First, Biden's reversal of the cross-border permits for the pipeline kicks off a regulatory onslaught on the petroleum industry's value chain. It kicks off what? A regulatory onslaught. So, he said, though this reversal won't damage the oil industry much, and it isn't absolutely essential to American oil right now, there are long-term consequences to this issue. So there are short-term and long-term. Why do I say so? Because, you see, if you look at the CBC news that I just read to you, they are trying to make it look like, it's not that powerful, by using the word fleeting. And I'll show you why. It says here, basically, there are signed statements about how the president wants. So basically, there are signed statements about how the president wants the federal government to be managed. No, sir, ma'am. There are signed statements as to what the president wants done now, right? And he said they said there can be instructions to federal agencies or requests for reports. You see, government shouldn't stop working. And so when a new president comes in, he can say, I want this done. And you know what happens? The machinery gets into motion and things start happening. Money is being spent, vehicles are moving, people are traveling, planes are flying, the military is... Don't tell me that it has no impact, right? So here's what they're saying. Many others can be unobjectionable, such as giving federal employees the day after Christmas off. They can also lay out major policies. For example, former President Joe Biden signed an order to create a structure for establishing regulations on artificial intelligence. Why am I saying all this? I've been in this for 4 minutes, 56 seconds, going to 5 minutes, is to tell you something. The executive orders on crypto, what is it going to do? So if you waited till this time, it's going to do exactly what you saw happen to Joe Biden's executive order on Keystone Pipeline. He canceled it. It was canceled. It did. You know what I mean? So then with Trump's executive order, it will give life to crypto. Simple. Within government, they'll be talking about it. They will not just be pandering. They will not just be playing games. They will be talking about it and doing something about it, which means the crypto economy, the crypto ecosystem, the crypto assets that are American particularly are going to explode in value and price. So expect overnight or few days or whatever type of increases where people will sleep and wake up and see a crypto that is $3, maybe XRP, will be what? $5. 50% increase in one day, and then the next thing you know, it's $10. Why? Not just for because of the executive order, but things are going to. You think they're not going to bring crypto stakeholders in? What do you think Brad Garlinghouse and Stuart Alderody and all the Ripple people have been jostling around Washington for? Since the election was won by Trump, they've been around. Remember, Chris Larson gave money to Kamala Harris, and as soon, they played a very, very smart game there. As soon as Trump, won, Brad Garlinghouse shows up and he eventually drops money. He's been at Mar-a-Lago. They've been talking. Listen, friends, the executive order is going to cause a massive ripple effect. Did I just say that? Ripple effect, pun intended. Ripple effect. So, yeah, look at what they write, and I'll close here. It says, new presidents can often do issue orders to cancel the orders of their predecessors. They make it so light, and people who swallow everything the media says will just believe this. Look at, as the American Bar Association notes, the orders do not require congressional approval and can be directly overturned by lawmakers. Still, they say the truth, then they add something, a caveat, right? Still, Congress can do whatever. You see, I've even missed what it was I wanted to read. Still, Congress can block, both Congress and the courts can potentially block executive order. When do they block it? So people file, and then it takes months and months and months. By then, so much has happened. Can you imagine? The cryptocurrency space has been waiting hungrily, just like, they're like eaglets in the nest, waiting for Mother Eagle to come and drop. Their mouths are open, just waiting for the mother to drop those worms or whatever, meat, flesh, whatever the Mother Eagle is feeding the eaglets. That's how the cryptocurrency space has been. It's so developed, unregulated. It has developed. Millionaires have been made in an unregulated industry. People's lives have been changed by an unregulated industry. People have learned about it. People are giving courses. I am coaching people like in an unregulated space. There's no university program for crypto assets to learn anything. Of course, by the time you get to the university and they create a program, it's too late. You can't create wealth anymore from it. You can only just sit there and pay salaries to professors who really didn't know anything about it, but they created a curriculum based on what the unregulated environment has done. We created the curriculum. All the people who have been on YouTube created all things, studied and everything. And at the end of the day, all these big colleges and universities will come in and like, oh yeah, we're going to teach people cryptocurrency now. No. But all I wanted to say here, get on here to say, I've taken so much time already, was to say that the media is dishonest. And when they report about these things, and so if you're watching and looking at the media and say, oh, it doesn't really mean anything, his executive orders don't mean anything. I just showed you Biden and I showed you Trump. When Biden made an executive order about Keystone Pipeline, it was a big deal. It was one of the early ones he did. It was canceled, and it was canceled. When liberals argue and say, oh, but we're drilling oil, we're really drilling oil, it's because there were orders that were existing, there were licenses that were existing while Trump was in office and were not cancelled, right? But nothing else happened. And Canada suffered for the cancellation of the Keystone Pipeline. So in the same way that had a negative impact on the economy, particularly of Canada, with the cancellation of Keystone Pipeline, when an executive order is made, look at all the executive orders made for things like all this, the transgender stuff that's been going on, men and women, Title IX, all those types of things. Look at what has happened, right? It's effective. It works. So don't mind them. Crypto is about to explode. I say that to you with confidence because an executive order, if it wasn't important, they will not make noise about it, right? All right. That's all I have for you. If you like what you've watched so far, please kindly subscribe. I'm almost at 2,000, maybe about 70 subscribers from 2,000. Hopefully I can get there before the week ends. And thank you for all your comments. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.